checked out your website, which launched, I guess, a couple of days ago. I didn't have time to read your entire platform. Can you distill it into, like, a tweetable phrase for us?
The serious tweetable phrase would be small practical changes to better the student experience.
Okay.
Was that too long?
I don't know.
That should be.
I think that's.
Which do you think that's under 40 characters?
Yeah, I think that's for whoever's the equivalent of Mark Zuckerberg at Twitter to determine.
Okay.
Alright, awesome. Now, every team usually has, various, like, different characters within it. Someone is usually the funny one, someone's the smart one, someone's the Ringo. Which one of you is, like, the one, if in a hypothetical situation, you would kick off your team?
Hypothetically?
Hypothetically,
it's been happened before.
Well,
But
Yeah.
Just say hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Before I get kicked off the island, I'm going to nominate Connie Bonnet.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll boot Connie on it.
Okay, terrific. So there's a coup at work.
Alright. So if we were given the opportunity to vote for the AMS election, which we're not, would you really vote for yourself? And why?
Well, I think we can vote for ourselves. We're Team CBW, and it could be worse.
You should put that on the poster. It could be worse.
It could be worse. Definitely could be.
A couple of years ago, the executive opened the Co-Grow Express.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, they added halal and gluten-free options to the menu. What changes will be coming to Co-Grow this year, and when are you just going to scrap it and open a Tim's?
One of our ideas for Co-Grow this year that was in our platform was to add bar-style seating around the outside. Because you often go to Co-Grow to get a wrap or sandwich or coffee, and you can't find a place to sit because there's always people taking up all the seats. So
Really?
adding more seating to Co-Grow.
Okay. Would you consider bringing pitchers to this new bar style of Co-Grow?
I mean, we could.
Yeah, I think that
Could
would
you?
be
We'd consider it. Yeah.
Nice.
perfect.
If you had the opportunity to get rid of one faculty and you had to do it, it could also be a degree at Queen's. Which one would it be?
Is it economics?
Well, there's econ
Well, we're
students,
both
so-
economics.
No, I read your platform.
Speaking as somebody who is now in econ and gender studies in the fields, I would prefer to get rid of economics, having experienced the degree.
So
either-
genders is better.
In my opinion, yeah. Gender studies all the way.
I like
I
that.
prefer a gender-driven economy more than an economy-driven economy. Would you support extending the definition of personhood to include frosh?
Personhood?
Yeah.
What is the current definition of personhood?
Basically, everyone, back in the 20s when there was the huge push in first wave feminism to accept women as persons, that was a big thing. So personhoods now includes males, females. Would you include frosh under that definition?
I think it's very important to be very careful with extending any sort of definition to frosh. I think frosh need to earn it before they actually get it.
They need to fight for the right.
Do you support the use of gender-neutral terms to be used with official documents of the university?
Meaning, like,
I think it's a good step to use gender neutral terms. It extends respect to all people, and that's something that we think is good.
So you support it. That's good.
Now, according to Wikipedia, the term alma mater originally was used to describe mother goddesses in ancient Rome and the Virgin Mary in Christianity afterwards. It is highly gendered and has religious affiliations. So do you support the changing of the name AMS to Alma Mater Undergraduate Society to facilitate gender neutrality and accuracy for the society?
I think we support changing the name of AMS to EngSoc Plus.
Soc class.
I like that. NSOC will be very happy with this interview.
The other societies, I'm not sure, but
Yeah, but
they
fuck
don't
them.
matter.
Because we're not employed by them.
We're concerned if we name it that, it will will confuse students between that and ASUS. So we don't exactly want to.
Oh,
do
so
that.
you don't want people to confuse anus with asses.
That's very fair.
Yeah. It's good to be medically accurate. Do you have any plans to stop the obvious money laundering that is happening at the underground? Because every time I throw back, the place is packed, but every year this thing loses more money. And do you have any plans to make the decor less shitty?
What do you think? You don't like the decor right now?
I just think it's odd. It's like chandeliers, and then the walls say, "I could be stabbed." So like,
You know,
what are
like
your
it contributes to like the underground kind of feel of
Edgy
you know,
vibe.
graffiti and
I don't know if I want that. I frankly want.
What would you like to
a
see?
safe experience.
What would you like to see down there when you go
Well,
up?
according to other journal this week, the stereotypical Queen's experience is rich white people. So I don't really think the underground right now represents that culture.
Mm-hmm. What would?
I don't know. I'm not a rich white person.
Yeah.
Rich.
Damn it, I'm on the spot. Let's just say like the chandeliers work. Those are like
Those are cool.
those are very rich white person.
should we
I
look
would
for
say-
like plush white carpets?
You don't like the spray paint on the walls?
Yeah, no, get rid of the walls. The walls should be like a neutral kind
We
of.
could have a student day where we just
Mhm.
paint the wall like everything blank.
I think so.
and
I think you did that
volunteers
with
would
like a
just come
kindergarten
and
class
paint.
the last time, so
Yeah.
that could work if we had like
But
university
also draw
students
people
do it.
to the underground.
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Then you could, take away from the spray paint and add exactly what you want. You could have your own wall.
Perfect.
Both have your own wall. You could have a golden words wall.
So
On the-
yeah, like promote childlike behavior at a pub.
Yeah.
People inside. Yes.
Perfect.
How do you plan to encourage more teams to run next year?
I think we need to start the advertising a little earlier. I think the elections team kind of has a pretty well structured plan of what they try to do every year in terms of letting people know in the fall what's required to run, because there's a lot of planning that has to go into running an election, and obviously the platform takes some time. So I think we want to see more like educational pieces on, this is how teams sometimes form, this is what's required, the signature pages, the 10 days of campaigning. We want to make that process really kind of clearly outlined.
It's also important to really treat these positions like there's no experience necessary.
Yeah.
We say it's no experience necessary, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, and for a lot of people that's intimidating. So I think next year we have to make sure that people know that it's really no experience necessary, and that it shouldn't be.
Like anyone could be president if they really wanted
Literally
to.
And that you could really win on pictures on league days at QP. If you have a great idea like that.
Interesting. Well, you guys already won, so just putting that out there. Building off that, Winston Churchill once said, "Democracy is the worst form of government except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time." What are your opinions on democracy? Personally, I think it's a waste of time. Just cut out the middleman and go straight to power. I think you guys have really tapped into the way of the future here. So what are your opinions on the democratic process?
Well, democracy is important. It's again, it's an unusual situation that we have. It's the elections team made the decision to do what it did, and
So the decision is made by the elections team
Yeah.
themselves.
To acclaim us, yeah.
Yeah. So not democratic.
So you have people on the inside.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite dictator?
No.
Anyone? There's been plenty.
I'm
Yeah.
really not a fan of dictatorship.
really?
Okay.
Not the best leadership
Interesting.
style. I would
Yeah.
be able to put a pretty compelling case together for why it's not the best leadership style, but
Okay. Well, you've put a compelling case together so far for, like, non-democracy. You guys seem pretty good.
well, thanks.
Yeah. You guys seem pretty good. We're intimidated. I think that you've covered all the bases for dictatorship.
what about being friendly and nice?
I guess.
That's a
Yeah,
good
sure.
dictatorship.
Yeah. But no one ever got into the history books for being friendly and nice.
Well, there are a lot of people who got in the history books for being friendly and nice.
I haven't read a history book in a very long time.
Barney
So,
the dinosaur, of course, is
well, look at what happened to them.
yeah.
Dinosaurs. So when are we gonna get the covered bridge between the J-Duck and the Arc?
So that's touching back on tap. We were presented or something was presented to us actually at the last assembly for the pool of money that's going to be used for all the renovations, and that specific item was one of the various items that was going to be brought forward.
By whom?
That's for the JDEC long-term
yeah.
plan.
The
So this
long-term
is
plan.
for real.
No, so there's currently Troy Sherman, who's Assistant Center Officer, created a long-term plan for the JDEC. He told an architect to basically make like an idealized space for the JDEC, and it included a bridge very conveniently.
Cool. And one final question. Now we all like to think that Queens is like a fair, open, safe environment, but every year more and more allegations stack up about the school oppressing a major visible group. This issue is very personal to me, so I ask you, is this the year where I can finally use my goddamn debit card at the Arc?
There's a lot of complexity to that. All the vendors in the ARC are all Sodexo, so they've just took the decision to not accept debit and credit. But if you go to Common Ground or if you go to QP, we do accept credit and debit, so that's where you can continue.
So you're saying Sodexo is like this big multinational corporation that owns Tim Hortons, Pita Pit, Booster Juice,
It administers
Pizza.
They administer how all those restaurants are actually working.
Like they're brought out and operated by Sodexo.
Sodexo is a multinational corporation. It just holds the license
They have all the
franchise.
power.
Yeah, they hold the franchise for these outlets in the ARC.
So you're succumbing to their power and disregarding the comfort and safety of the students' athletes.
No, we are, instead of following what they do, we actually have credit and debit. So we also have gift cards.
At the services we have control over, such as Cobra
Yeah.
or QP.
I think you guys should really like not cower in the face of this giant corporation and really stand up.
What's your strategy for what should we do?
I don't know.
Being friendly.
Yeah, definitely
Should we
keep
take
that
the
friendly,
the
keep that
dictator
friendly
approach, or-
dictatorship thing going, and you'll get places.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.